Good morning. Today we will start with the chapter number 6, unemployment. Now, meaning of unemployment. So, according to Professor Pigu, a person can be called unemployed only when he is willing to work but is not able to find work. So, what does this definition suggest? That a person he can be called unemployed. When can he called unemployed? That when he is willing to work or when he wants to work but he is not able to find any work. So unemployment, we can say that unemployment occurs when a person who is actively searching for employment is unable to find work. And unemployment, it is often used as a measure of the health of economy. And the most frequent measure of unemployment, it is unemployment rate, which we calculate or any nation calculates, right? That is the number of unemployed people, and it is divided by the number of people in the labor force. So we get the unemployment rate. Now, when we understand employment, so what can we say? That unemployment, it is an economic indicator because it signals the ability or inability of workers to readily obtain any gainful or useful work to contribute to the productive output of the economy. And more unemployed workers mean that is less total economic production will take place that might have otherwise. And unlike idle capital, unemployed workers, they still need to maintain at least subsistence consumption during their period of unemployment. So this means an economy with high unemployment, it has a lower output without a proportional decline in the need for basic consumption. Now, as we all know that most of the nations of the world, they face some problems, economic and social problems like poverty, unemployment, inflation and depression. The world is worried about these problems and they try to find solution in their own ways, and they try to solve these problems, means how they can reduce all these problems, but still these problems cannot be solved up to a large extent. If we see developed and developing countries, they have become economically developed but they cannot attain full employment. So that's why the unemployment has become a global problem, that it is a problem of every nation, we can say. And in India also, problem of unemployment, it is a very long term issue. So that is why in plans the objective of removal of unemployment is prioritized. But even after economic development, the problem of unemployment has increased instead of declining. Now, in India, if we see, on one hand what happens, the population is increasing or population growth rate is there, and on the second hand we have the problem of unemployment, right? So unemployment, as we understood, it is a situation where a person is willing to work but he is not getting any work. And we will define this, that is, a person can be called unemployed only when he is willing to work but is not able to find any work. So in short, we can say that unemployment is a situation where a person is ready and capable of working at current wage rate, whatever it is prevailing in the market, but he does not get any work. Now, according to the above definition, at current wage rate, a person is eager and ready to work, but he is deprived of any work, then he is said to be unwilling unemployed or compulsory nature of unemployment. Similarly, if a person is not willing and ready to work and not getting work, then he is said to be unemployed. So this type of person is said to be voluntary unemployed. So according to this definition, children, elderly people, weak people and people who do not want to work are part of the active workforce, but they cannot be said unemployed, because this voluntary unemployment is not a problem. So voluntary unemployment, it is not a problem for us. Now the term unemployment is understood in terms of supply of active workforce who are ready to work. So active workforce supply, it includes people in which age group? That is the age group of 15 to 64 years. So active workforce age group is 15 to 64 years. It can be asked in your MCQ even. So from the meaning of unemployment, we can say that unwilling employment or compulsory unemployment is only a problem. In India also, unemployment has become a very serious problem nowadays. Now, before discussing the types of unemployment, we have to discuss about the 4 measures. That is, because the nature of unemployment is different in developed and developing economy. So generally what happens in developed countries, lack of effective demand resulted from the trade cycle, it creates unemployment. And it is usually for a short period of time or short term. And in developed countries, we find cyclical and frictional unemployment more. So this can be solved by increasing the effective demand. And whereas in country like India, because of high population growth rate, labor supply constantly increases. And on the other hand, because of structural limitation, employment rate rises at a lower pace. So because of that, the problem of unemployment arises in our country. So that means unemployment in India is structural in nature, and it is for long period of time or long term. So it can be solved by introducing economic, social and political changes through developing infrastructural facilities. Now, measures of unemployment. Before studying types of unemployment, first study measures of unemployment. That is to know the nature and types of unemployments. Raj Krishna Committee report, according to 2011-12, they have given 4 measures: time, income, willingness and productivity. First one is time. Now, if any person is there, he has willingness and capacity to do work, but does not get work for more than 28 hours a week. If he is not getting work for more than 28 hours a week, then he is said to be intensively unemployed. But those who are employed for more than 28 hours and less than 42 hours in a week, then they are considered as less intense unemployed, right? Second comes income. So when a person gets very less income, which cannot solve the problem of his poverty, then from income point of view, he is poor. And in rural India, especially, this type of poverty we are seeing. So for example, if a person required 30,000 per month for satisfying the needs of his family, and he is earning only 15,000 or less than that from his present job, right? Then comes willingness. When a person is eligible of getting good job, but he or she is not getting any good job as per his eligibility, and he accepts the lower cadre job and gets very less income from the job, then he is underemployed. For example, if a CA has to do the work of a clerk, then it is underemployment. Then comes productivity. So when a laborer is working with less than his actual productivity, then production is less than his productive capacity. For example, if a person is there, he can 20 meters of clothes in a day, but he gets a job where he can make only 10 meters of clothes. So that is, he is working less than his actual capacity or productivity. So according to the above measures, underemployment can be divided in following. Now, types of unemployment. So according to the above measures, unemployment is divided in these 5 types. That is open unemployment, then underemployment, disguised unemployment, cyclical unemployment and frictional unemployment. Open unemployment. Now, open unemployment, it refers to that situation wherein the worker is willing to work and has the necessary ability to work, yet he does not get work and remains unemployed for full time. So that can be called as open unemployment. That is the individuals, those who are ready to work at current wage rate, whichever is prevailing in the market, and they possess the qualification also which is required for the job, but they do not get any job, so they are said to be fully unemployed or openly unemployed. Now this type of problem is seen commonly in the country in which the labor supply increases fast and the process of urbanization is also fast. So over there, high rate of full unemployment can be seen, and this type of unemployment is seen more in the cities than in villages. So open unemployed people are those who migrate from villages to cities in search of job. So people suffering from open unemployment are educated or less trained skilled persons. And this type of unemployment is seen mostly in the age group of 15 to 25 years. So open unemployment is seen in the age group of 15 to 25 years. Now to get the proper number of open unemployed people, it is very difficult, but still there are three methods to find out it. That is, first one is through the registration in employment exchange centers, second is the through sample survey for labor supply, and third one is through census survey. Now second comes underemployment. Now underemployment means when laborers cannot utilize their capabilities fully and for certain period they accept a less capable job, it is said to be underemployed. So when a laborer is willing and ready to work for certain years or days, but he gets job for less than those hours or days, so he is said to be underemployed. For example, a laborer working in industry or agricultural land, he gets work only for 5 hours instead of 8 hours a day. So then he is said to be underemployed. So according to this meaning, in rural India, the seasonal unemployment in agriculture sector, it is a type of underemployment. And because the laborer in agriculture sector, they get work only during the sow and harvesting season, they are unemployed rest of the time or rest of the year. So Indian agriculture is based on monsoon, and due to limited irrigation facilities, agriculture sector faces seasonal nature of unemployment. Sometimes many individuals, they do not get jobs according to their degrees, so they accept a less or degraded job, we can say. So that is also known as underemployment. For example, a person with a degree of computer engineer, he works in a garage. Now third comes the disguised unemployment. So disguised unemployment, it is a kind of unemployment in which some people, they do look like being employed, but they are actually not employed fully. So this situation is also known as hidden unemployment, and in such a situation more people are engaged in work than required. So in other words, it refers to a situation of employment with surplus staff, we can say. Now disguised employment exists frequently in the developing countries like India, we can say, where large population creates a surplus in the labor force, and it can be characterized by low productivity, and it frequently accompanies informal labor markets and agricultural labor markets, which can absorb substantial quantities of labor. Now in India, population is constantly increasing. So hence people demanding employment is also increasing at a very higher rate. But in India, poor development of sectors other than agriculture, they put heavy burden on agriculture sector for employment. And if the surplus laborers are removed from agriculture sector, then also agriculture production will not decrease, as the marginal productivity of these laborers are zero. They are said to be disguisedly unemployed. And in cities also, in industry and in business, this kind of disguised unemployment is seen. Commonly, the business where labor is borne by the families themselves and wages are not paid in monetary terms. So in such a case, disguised unemployment takes place. Let us take an example. If 10 hectare land is to be optimally used, then maximum 5 laborers can be employed. But due to unavailability of work anywhere else, the other 3 members of family also join the same work. but even after they join, the total production does not increase at all. So that's why then the other 3 laborers are called disguisedly unemployed. These laborers are visibly do not seem to be unemployed, but because the marginal productivity is 0, so there is a disguised unemployment, we can say. Then fourth comes cyclical unemployment. Now cyclical unemployment means what? So we can say that it is as workers they're losing their jobs due to business cycle fluctuations in output, or the normal ups and down movements in the economy as it cycles through booms and recessions over time. So that can be termed as cyclical unemployment. That is the variation in the number of unemployed workers over the course of economic upturns and downturns, such as those related to the changes in oil prices, or unemployment rises during recessionary period and it declines during the period of economy growth. So preventing and alleviating cyclical unemployment during recession, it is one of the key reasons for the study of economics and the purpose of the various policy tools that the government use to employ on the downside of business cycle to stimulate the economy. Now here, sometimes our economy faces prosperity, sometimes it faces depression. So during prosperity, what happens? A high investment, production, income, employment in the economy takes place. And whereas on the other hand, when economy faces depression, so that time there is a reduction in the demand of goods and services, and due to this, the industry have to reduce their production or shut down the production, and many laborers are retrenched from work. So here depression becomes the reason for unemployment. So this type of unemployment is called cyclical or depressive unemployment, or trade cycle unemployment, we can say. And America experienced this type of depression during the year 1929 and 30, as its effects too was faced by many countries of the world. So that is why this depression was known as Great Depression. And still sometimes developed countries like America, England faces this type of unemployment. And in India, due to the capitalist market mechanism, every now and then the cyclical unemployment can be seen. For example, Indian diamond industry faces this type of unemployment. Now what can be done to solve this type of unemployment problem? The states can take some measure, like they can invest in productive and development activities and provide employment to maximum people and try to increase their income levels. And with increase in income, effective demand will increase and production will increase. So as a result of this, the problem of cyclical unemployment will reduce. Now comes last, that is frictional unemployment. Now frictional unemployment, if we talk about, that is, it is a result of people voluntarily changing jobs within an economy, we can say. That is, after a person leaves a company, it naturally takes time to find another job. And same way, when the graduates, they just enter the workforce, so they add to the frictional unemployment. And usually this type of unemployment, it is short-lived, so it is less problematic, you can say, as from the economic standpoint. And the frictional unemployment, it is a natural result of the fact that market processes take time and information can be costly. So searching for new job, recruiting new employees or new workers, and matching the right workers to the right jobs, it all takes time, effort, energy, right? Which results in frictional unemployment. So when in production process, because of changes in demand or production or due to change in taste and preferences of new technology, new goods enter in the market and unemployment arises, then this employment is called frictional unemployment. In developed nation, when old production system is replaced by a new production system, then the units with old production system, they face the economy loss and they have to shut down ultimately. So as a result, what will happen? The workers or laborers, those who are working in those units, they will remain unemployed. and till they don't get or new work, or they don't learn the new work according to the new technology, they will be unemployed. So this type of unemployment is for a short period of time. Example, that is when a smartphone replaced the old mobile phones, then the laborers engaged in production, sales and service of old mobile phones, they became unemployed. Now causes of unemployment, first one is high rate of population growth, slow rise in employment opportunities, low rate of savings and investment, capital intensive production technique, lack of vocational education, lack of manpower planning, inefficiency of public sector and negligence towards agriculture sector, low mobility of workers and lack of infrastructural facilities. Now what are the causes of unemployment? Now in India, the information regarding the unemployment is published in it is published by Planning Commission, that is CSO, Central Statistical Organization, and NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Organization, and journal published by the Employment Exchange Reports. So the Bhagwati Committee was established to study the problem of unemployment, and it clearly talks about magnitude and causes of unemployment. Magnitude, we can say, that is the volume and size of unemployment. And to improve the rate of economic development of a country and to solve the problem of unemployment in 1951, the planned steps were taken, but still the unemployment problem was there. Now at the end of the planning, what happened? First 5-year plan, 53 lakh people were unemployed, which increased to 304 lakhs at the end of 5th 5-year plan, and 348.5 lakhs at the end of 9th 5-year plan. So from the above information, we can see that India faces high unemployment and it is increasing day by day, which is a very serious problem for our country. And the reason for high unemployment are high rate of increase in labor supply and slow rise in employment opportunities, low savings and investment and limitation of education system. First one, high rate of population growth. Now as we all know that in India the population growth rate is very high. The population is increasing at a very faster rate. But with this, what happens? The labor supply also increases. As the population will increase, the labor supply also increases in the market. And on the other hand, there is not so much employment opportunities are generated in the market. Second comes slow rise in employment opportunities. Now as the population is increasing, so it is supplying abundant labor force in the market, but on the other hand there is a very slow increase in employment opportunities in the market. So in the first 3 decades, if we talk about the planning, India attained 3.5% of economic growth, and this growth rate increased to 7.6% in the 10th 5-year plan and 7.8% in 11th 5-year plan. But still the number of unemployed people is kept on increasing. Green reversion in agriculture sector, it remained limited to certain areas and sector. Other than the agriculture observed slow growth. Then comes low rate of saving and investment. Now, Indian planning has increased national income, but simultaneously population growth rate has also increased. So because of that, the per capita income, it increased at a very lower rate than the national income. And due to the lower per capita income, the expenses in satisfying basic needs of burdensome population kept saving investment at a lower rate. And because of low rate of investment in industry, agriculture or other sectors, they could not create much employment opportunities, so which is creating a problem of unemployment. Next comes capital intensive production technique. Now There is a scarcity of capital and abundance of labor in India. So in these circumstances, instead of capital intensive production technique, we should use labor intensive technique of production. Because if labor intensive technique is used, then more laborers will be employed, and if capital intensive technique we are using, then we require very less number of laborers. So in agriculture and industries, mechanization was adopted, which increased employment at a slow rate. And in industrial sector also, to increase productivity and to get security against organized labor unions, such a policy is adopted which saves labors. So as a result, unemployment problem has become acute. So this is why the Bhagwati committee has formed to study the unemployment, also recommended to use less of mechanism. Then come lack of vocational education. So in India, one reason for high educational unemployment is ineffective education system. Those who can work according to the changing working atmosphere in every sector, such type of workers are not created. With this objective of increasing economic growth rate, technology and mechanism has been adopted by industries and agriculture. So such laborers are required who have the knowledge of these techniques, but the present education system is opposite to that. So hence the skilled laborers are very few because of the lack of vocational education. Then comes lack of manpower planning. Now in India, during planning period, manpower is not planned rightly, and the type of labor which is in demand presently in India, the availability of similar type of labor supply is not possible, as that kind of human resource planning is not found in the education system, and education has been made a widespread activity without estimation of kind and number of labor requirement. So as a result, every year lack of educated youths obtain degrees. As they lack knowledge and training required in present economic development, they are unemployed even after being educated. Now during British rule, the gold used to move from India to Britain. So this one-sided movement is called drain of gold. Similarly, presently the Indian intelligence is moving from India to abroad. That is, those who are very intelligent and scholars, we can say, they are moving from India to abroad. So this one-sided movement, it is called drain of brain. Inefficiency of public sector. Now after independence, public sector was given more importance than private sector. So there is an immense increase seen in number of public sectors and investment thereof. The quantity of employment generation estimated from public sectors was not able to generate more employment because of its low productivity. So employment oriented private sectors were controlled for the development of public sector, and moreover private sector development was neglected. So there was less employment generation and unemployment increased. Second is negligence towards agricultural sector. Now India, as we all know, that India is an agricultural country, and most of the population, it resides in villages and depends on agriculture for their living, right? So agricultural planning should be such that could generate more employment, but in India economic development policy, more emphasis is given to the other sectors as compared to the agricultures. That is, they have neglected the agricultural sector, or less importance they have given to the agricultural sector, we can say. Then comes low mobility of work and lack of infrastructural facilities. Now low mobility of workers, that is lack of mobilization among laborers, it is also a reason of unemployment in India. Now due to many reasons, like it can be social, family, language, religion, casteism, or lack of information, lack of transportation facilities, anything. Okay, so people with higher education they are not interested in going to the rural areas or backward areas to get the employment. They want to get employment in the urban area itself. Then comes lack of infrastructure facilities. So in rural areas, because of lack of infrastructure facilities, unemployment has become a major problem, And in rural area, lack of transportation facilities, lack of proper roads, lack of education, health and electricity facilities are the reasons for the low generation of unemployment. Now, measures to reduce unemployment. What measures the government has to, or what measures we can take to reduce the unemployment in our country. Now, the problem of unemployment, it is not only economic, but it also gives rise to the social, moral and psychological issues. If a person will not have money, right, so he can face many other problems. Now, from political point of view also, this problem is very serious. So that is why in India, from the first 5-year plan, the main objective was to reduce unemployment. Especially from the 5th and the 6th 5-year plan, the prime objective is in the reduction of unemployment. And in the 8th 5-year plan, it was thought to make right to employment as the fundamental right, and changes could be made in constitution, but it could not be materialized. So to solve this problem, following steps can be taken. First one is the population control. Now, as we discussed that as the population is increasing, it increases the labor force, right? So first of all, we should control the population. The high population growth rate of India, it has increased the problem of unemployment and made it more serious, right? So if in India the problem of unemployment has to be solved, then effective steps for population control must be taken. So with that, what will happen? The rate of population growth will come down and the high rate of labor supply will reduce. So the number of job seekers will reduce, and on the other hand, because of population control, resources will become surplus. So as a result, the rate of capital investment and employment opportunities will increase. And with the population control in long term, the productive age group, that is 15 to 64 years, can be placed appropriately. Second comes increase in the rate of economic development. Now, it is one of the constructive solution of reducing unemployment, that is by increasing the rate of economic development. Now, in initial ages of planning, the rate of economic development used to be as low as 3 to 3.5%. So for that, coordinating various sectors of economy, effort should be made to increase capital investment between public, private and cooperative sector. In agriculture sector, irrigation facilities and other required facilities should increase, and agricultural growth rate should be kept high. Then comes employment oriented planning. Now, it is seen that during planning, special emphasis is given on economic development. So from the second 5-year plan, special importance was given to the development of public sector as a key to the basic industry, that is capital intensive industry, were developed. But in present situation, the employment oriented planning is very important. So the state has encouraged consumer goods and labor intensive industries, small and medium scale industries and business and trade, animal husbandry, dairy product we can say. So because of all these the industries, they require less of capital and they generate more employment. So with the establishment and development of these employment oriented industry, the production of consumer goods will increase and employment will increase, and thus the economic stability will also be achieved. Then comes employment oriented education. Now present education system which we are having, it is responsible for unemployment because we provide only bookish knowledge and we produce only clerks. So even after being graduated and common management field, individual does not become capable enough for self-employment. It is a fact. So in India, to solve the problem of unemployment and to increase the capabilities to gather, gain employment, a revolutionary change in the educational field is necessary, which can be implemented. So in the new education policy of 2015 for employment generation, collaboration with the industries were developed as the objective to have vocational education. So similarly in future years with this sector as employment opportunities has to be studied, and accordingly we can plan our curriculum of the education. Now also, as we all know, that the education policy has changed and many changes are made in the education system. Next comes the development of small and cottage industries. So cottage and small sector have capacity to create employment with low investment. So to provide employment to one person, low capital investment is required as compared to big industries. So with this type of industries, problem of unemployment can be solved. With similar capital investment, small industry can create 7.5 times more employment than or as compared to the big industry. So India is a capital scarce and labor intense industry. Then come extension of infrastructure facilities. So in India, rural areas have less employment opportunities as compared to the urban areas. So which is responsible for the poor infrastructure facilities in rural areas. So if government extends the services like education, health, housing, electricity, roads, business, training center and other infrastructure facilities, so it will help the local resources employment can be made available to individuals which is nearby their residence. And employment will also generate in agriculture and allied sectors, so problem of unemployment can reduce to some extent. Speed and expansion of green revolution in agricultural sector. Now high population growth in India and high dependence of population on agriculture, it creates a disguised unemployment, and at the same time uncertain monsoon and insufficient irrigation facilities. So it creates seasonal unemployment. So to solve the problem of unemployment in rural areas, green revolution should be speed up and effort should be made to extend it to more areas which can increase the opportunities of unemployment. Now if we can plan the properly, then agriculture it has more space to provide employment than any other sector, and this has been supported by PC Mahalanobis with regard to calculation of employment opportunities. So according to him, or what does he say, that in India by investing rupee 1 crore in agricultural sector, 40,000 people can be employed and production can be increased by 5.7%. Whereas in big industry, by investing rupee 1 crore only 500 people can be employed and production can be increased by 1.4%. So from this estimated, we can see that it's very clear that agriculture sector can create more employment as compared to the industry. So for the green revolution in agriculture, the important complementary activities such as minor and major irrigation, soil conservation, mixed farming, forest development, then plan for the more harvest should be adopted. Now state programs to solve employment problem. Means government has took out some schemes or some programs they took out to solve this unemployment problem. Now in the year 1951, the 5-year plan started in India. So from 5th year plan, various employment oriented schemes like integrated rural development program, food against work, then Jawahar Rojgar Yojana, Nehru Rojgar Yojana, Swern Jayanti, many schemes were started. Some of them we'll discuss here. First one, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Now this was started on February 2006. National Rural Employment Guarantee Act was started with the objective of providing employment to the rural people which are residing in the backward district of the country. The name NREGA. It was changed to MGNREGA on 2nd October 2009. And to make this program successful, the government declared 2nd February as the employment day. And in this program, at least one person from each family is given guarantee of getting employment for 100 days in a year. And here 1/3 employment is reserved for females under this scheme. So it was recommended to provide minimum wages for physical labor. Now if laborers are given employment beyond that distance, that is beyond 5 kilometers, if they are given employment, then 10% extra wages are given to them. So laborers working under this scheme are provided job cards which is valid for 5 years. And after receiving job card, if the laborers do not get employment, then he is paid employment allowance. Second comes Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Shramev Jayate Yojana. This scheme was started on 16th October 2014, and its objective was to provide health and security along with the good management, skill development and welfare to the laborers of the unorganized sector, and to develop conducive environment for industrial development. Then third one is the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. So this was earlier rural electrification program, and this program, it started with an objective of providing constant 24/7 electricity services in the rural areas. Next comes Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. Kaushalya, that is the skill. So this scheme was started on 25th September 2014, and the main objective of this program was to provide employment to youth between the age group of 18 to 35. And last one is the Prime Minister Agricultural Irrigation Program. So it was started on 1st July 2015, and the main objective of this program was water to every field. Water to every field, that is to increase the field productivity and maximum or optimum use of available resources and planning of irrigational facilities to agricultural areas. This all schemes were started.